All right, all right. I don't really know if music is appropriate to start right now. Our producer said we got to start with like the whole Trump thing. And
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you all, I kind of understand. Tonight was the first night, instead of watching baseball, I watched the news. It made me sick. But in case you're living under a rock, Trump has been rushed to the hospital. They believe that he is having trouble breathing, and they say he took some experimental drug, although I don't think the experimental drug has any effect on his health. The White House, a White House official, is unofficially reporting that they did it out of, and I believe he said as well, they did it out of an abundance of caution. Shade, thoughts on that?
Well, well, I don't know. It's hopefully he's okay, I guess. I mean, I hope he doesn't die. Have you heard of this woman? I unfortunately can't remember her name. It's like Sylvia or something like that, but she was a I guess a like a soothsayer of sorts. She was like a I forget the actual word, but I guess a psychic maybe. But she kind of predicted that Donald Trump would become president, and she predicted that he would die in office, and that Mike Pence would take over, and that he would die of an illness. She also supposedly helped predict things like COVID-19, 9/11, all kinds of different, like, extremely big world events. Um,
Sounds
so
like we need to make her the next president.
I think she's dead, but
Mm.
at least I believe so. Quite frankly, I don't actually know that much about her. I just remember hearing about it in passing and kind of reading a couple of things about it maybe a few months back, but I don't know. It's starting to have that like weird feeling to it where it's like it's kind of creepy, where it's like I've definitely heard this. It's not deja vu per se, but I don't know. It's odd. It's odd to see things almost going in that way. And quite frankly, yeah, I just, I hope that she's wrong. I hope that he's okay. Not to say that I'm a proud Trump supporter or anything, but like, I don't want anybody to have to suffer. I mean, you
Have
said
you
this
have you seen the
yesterday.
stuff on social media?
No.
People are going in on
Oh, I'm
him.
sure
People
they
have been
are.
saying he should drink bleach. He should
Yep.
try hydroxychloroquine himself. Like just
Yeah.
a
No,
bunch
I,
of a
I
bunch
actually,
of
I've even
I don't
heard
want
some
to
of
say
the
mean
same
spirited
things.
things, but
I've heard some of the same things from some of my students as well. Or at least my older students, those who are adults. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sad that we let our political alignments kind of define who we think is an okay person to survive. I mean, I heard you say this yesterday, and I had to agree with this. I, as a liberal, do not agree with the death penalty. I'm just not comfortable with it. I wouldn't say that I am a liberal, but I certainly don't agree with death, at least provoked death of any form. And I think wishing ill on anybody it's not the same, but it has similar energies. Like, I mean, if you wouldn't want your grandma to die, you shouldn't want anyone else to die either. You know? I don't know. Does that make sense?
no, I agree with you. And I'm gonna take a different approach when I talk about it. I'm gonna say that I don't think I'm as confident as I was last night about the president's health. Um, I think that his political advisors, there's a medical facility in the White House, and there's also one at the Naval Observatory where the vice president stays. They would have done anything to keep him in the White House and not have to. The optics of it is bad. It's terrible for a president. And I would also say this: out of an abundance of caution, Melania has it too, right? Nobody cares about. Are you saying like there's no caution for her? Nobody gives a darn. The president hasn't tweeted all day.
Is he in the hospital right now
He's
as we
at
speak?
Walter Reed Hospital right now as we speak. And so I wish him a speedy recovery. I think, like you said, we don't want you to be president, but we don't want you to be, you don't necessarily, like, you don't have to die for that to, like, we'll beat you in November, buddy. Like, and so, and yeah, I think it's been lost that as far as the election goes, well, let me ask you this. Should Biden suspend his campaign?
So, that brings me back to this woman's predictions. She said that the campaign will be postponed. So, whether or not, I mean, I think that it should happen. I have to be curious. Is this going to be the first time that it does happen? Like maybe it will. I can see why people would want to do that, especially let's say like the worst should happen and
Wait,
Donald
the
Trump does
election or
pass
the
away.
campaign?
I'm sorry, the election.
Okay. Well, you're talking about something different, but okay, keep going.
Okay, but well, okay, so postpone the campaign.
Like, should he say out of respect for, what's going on right now with the president, I'm not going to have any campaign events
Well,
until
so
he's
if he
better?
postpones the campaign, we would have to postpone the election.
No, not at all. I was going to say, campaigns get postponed all the time. In
I guess it depends on how long.
2008, they, I guess only John McCain postponed his, but when there was the crisis on, remember when they needed to come back to Washington to vote because they had that package and they were talking about an economic, like this is going to be the worst thing since the Great Depression.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say they suspended or what's his face suspended his campaign then.
I suppose you're right. I mean, I guess it depends on how long that postponing would actually be.
And then Biden also suspended his campaign during the COVID
Honestly,
thing.
I would say for Biden, this is a really strong time to campaign. Like Donald Trump said that he has everything covered. He's got things handled and that he has a plan, and that Joe Biden doesn't have a plan. That was what he said in the debate. And now Donald Trump has come down with COVID-19. In that sense, politically speaking, his side looks a little bit weak. It looks like maybe he doesn't have a plan, or maybe that plan that he has isn't as good as he thinks it is, or what would happen if he dies and he can't fulfill his plan. I don't know. There's a lot of questions, essentially, and his side doesn't look very strong. So this would be a really good time for Biden, at least in my opinion, to come out and say, you know what, we can't have this continue to happen. Vote for me in November. We're going to come up with a real solution. And blah, 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 blah. I personally think that would be a good political move. I don't know how people would react to it, though.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you respectfully. I think it's a terrible move. I think right now they say that 60% of Americans believe the president bought it on himself. But that does mean that there's a four. And even though 60%, to be fair, 60% will win you every single election in a landslide. 60% it bury. But at the same time, the American people are sensitive people. And Donald Trump he has a family. He's a father, a grandfather. And I guess my point is right now, while he's in the hospital and down, you can't, like Obama came out and had like he gave some dignified response. But the point is You could campaign if you want, but you can't really talk about Donald Trump right now. Like while he's in the hospital, it probably won't go over well with the American. It'll go over well with the small segment of the, it'll go over well with the radical. Like, there's a lot of people on social media hoping he dies. Like there was someone who I saw a
This is
post,
terrible.
I saw a post with over 1,000 retweets talking about, I don't know why you all are celebrating when the job isn't done yet. Or talking about, I don't know why you're celebrating with the job half finished, talking about COVID like killing him. And so there is a segment of the American population that's totally, insensitive. But to be fair, there's a segment of the American population on the right that's insensitive. And there's one on the, they're just, they've closed themselves off to, I'll say this much. I know Donald Trump changed the country, but I'll never let him change me and who I am. And so I wouldn't, uh, wish harm on anybody. But with that being said, I think for the most part it would go over terrible. However, I think that the moment Donald Trump steps foot outside the hospital, it's open season. And like you said, he's got like, this is like, and when I was saying, your advisors, like the reason I say this is a big deal, his political people had to say, hey, if you go to the hospital, but here's the worst part. Right now, coronavirus is ripping through the upper echelons of the U.S. government like a wildfire. And I just realized how insensitive that is to our friends in California. My bad about that. But the truth be told, I think they said 8 or 9 people in the executive branch have it, including Kellyanne Conway.
Really?
Yep.
Oh man.
And then 2 senators have it now, confirmed.
What about
Tom Tillis and
how's
Mike
the Supreme
Lee.
Court doing?
I think the Supreme Court would be fine because they're isolated.
Yeah.
But the White House, like the judicial branch doesn't interact with the other branches as much. It gives like the other branches, it'll get like cases and then make rulings. And like sometimes the other branches have a dispute and it'll rule like, hey, like Congress is right, or hey, like the president is right. Like, and you'll have like that dispute. But for the most part, they don't interact with, like the president has Steve Mnuchin talking to Nancy Pelosi. If Mnuchin tests positive, Nancy could test positive. The entire Democratic conference could test positive. You see what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
like right now, like you have 2 Republican senators with it. How many more Republicans are going to get it? And so it's spreading. Every hour it seems like the number goes up, and it seems like it's just like what we've seen with the sports teams. One day it's 2 cases, then it's 5, then it's 8, then it's 11, then it's the same thing we saw in our states. It was 2, then it was, I remember in Fairfax County there was at one point it was like 11 more people got it. And then like there was a point where I was checking again. It was like, like a few months later, it was like, oh, 97 people have caught it that day. And then like the number just keeps going up. And so right now, if I were Nancy Pelosi, I would shut the hill down. I would say everybody is going to quarantine. Everybody is going home. It's not because of a lack of, leadership. No, this is a disaster. And this was brought on by, to some extent, Donald Trump's negligence. Do not be confused. You can catch COVID doing all the right things. If you're doing all the right things, it makes it much more difficult. But you can still catch COVID doing all the right things. But 60% of Americans got it right. Donald Trump showed incredible disrespect for this disease. Incredible disrespect for the statistics that he is now a part of as far as the confirmed cases go. And hopefully he doesn't find himself a member of, a number in one of those 200,000. But, calling it things like the Kung flu and making fun of Joe Biden for wearing a mask everywhere. It's not good. And, you can be safe when it comes to physical threats. Like we want to be safe when it comes to terrorism and gun violence. And you can want to be, safe when it comes to cybersecurity threats, hackers hacking into emails and stealing secrets, I guess the Chinese government, the Russian government, whoever, WikiLeaks and cables like that and whatnot. But there's something to be said about, like, in the middle of a pandemic, being so negligent and not paying attention to, I don't know what kind of security I would call it, but in the middle of a pandemic, you had to think, like, the same way you check for guns, you should have been checking for temperatures. And you should have been requiring people to wear masks like they was clothes. Like, if you're not wearing a mask, like, you're getting fined. Like, you get 3 fines, like, you're spending time in jail, big dog. Like, just like right now, like, this is a time, like, for all of us, like, science is what it is. So I'm gonna say I wouldn't, if I were Joe Biden, I wouldn't keep campaigning, because we all can see what we see. It is what it is. Like, we can all see at this point what's happening. And I would say, out of, respect for what's going on in the country right now, if I were Joe, I would say, we should all be praying for our president's, our president to return to health so that we can both return to the campaign trail.
Fair enough.
And so that would be me. But it has real potential to spread all over the Capitol, really. And yeah, so I guess we'll see the next time we chat. We'll probably do the same format. We'll give you the update at the beginning, and then we'll do the chat afterwards. But we'll see how many more people have caught it and what the case may be. But no, the tough matter of facts are, I mean, it's grossly, it's like, I don't want to get back into it, but like, you all have to even think about, a lot of folks aren't thinking about the fact, like, they say that you don't like when you catch it, it doesn't affect you right away. Donald Trump has been hospitalized less than 24 hours later. And they're saying, stuff like heavy breathing and whatnot. And like I said, a lot of people would be like, that's evidence that nothing's happening. No, they would have hospitalized his wife out of abundance too. Like, I promise you, he's 74. He's old. He's got diabetes. He eats McDonald's every day. The man is not, like, he is a walking, like, if he didn't have the best healthcare, he'd be dead. This would definitely kill him if he didn't have the best healthcare.
Does he eat McDonald's every day?
He loves McDonald's.
Is that a real thing?
One of the I'm pretty sure.
Didn't he have like McDonald's for a catering event or something?
He did. I was just about to say that for one of the sports teams. So like, that boy said ba 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 ba. Like, good grief. Like,
yeah.
That boy loves McDonald's, and that's fine. And but yeah, like I said, you have to think, like, they weren't even testing well enough in the White House. That's what that tells me.
Yeah.
They weren't testing well. They were being grossly they aren't testing well. They weren't, like, they said there were no thermometers going on, like, to enter. Like, I can't enter my school without answering 10 different questions and getting my temperature checked. And you mean to tell me all I got to do is make sure I don't have a gun and I can walk right into the White House, shake the president's hand, I could have COVID. That could be a form of a biological attack, honestly. You want to assassinate the president, go catch COVID intentionally, and then just go meet up with him at a campaign event. It's wild. It's insane. So, with that being said, Shay, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, play the music. Let's go.
Hey there, party people.
That's hilarious. That's why that was what I was going to say all tonight.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say aloha to all my Malahini type folks.
Oh, okay. I got you. Hold on. Let's try that.
Is that like some kind of Island vibe?
Island?
Island, yep.
You mean island?
No, I mean Island, like...
Silent S. Where did you go to high school?
Same one as you, brother.
Well, hello, all my. What did you say?
I said aloha because you say aloha in Hawaii to all my Malahini type folks. See, you're obviously new to the island.
Well, okay.
That being said, so the quote of the day is it's from Love Beyond Walls, which is a really cool organization I found, and you should follow them on Instagram. But it says treating other people with dignity means you acknowledge that a person's worth and value is not tied to anything that has the power to define them.
Huh. That's a nice one.
Thank you. I like these people. They definitely give a good one. 2-sentence horror.
2-sentence horror. Welcome back to spooky season, my friends.
Spooky season. Speaking of, we got those Jacko beers again because we never really gave you guys a fair. We never really gave you all a fair shake on like how the beer was. Rated it for you. So we're gonna sip on them again, and then we promise you this time at the end we'll tell you how they are. But with that being said, the 2-sentence horror is it's really simple. It's I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first, I thought it was coming from the window until I heard it come from the mirror again. That's pretty wild, isn't it?
That is.
I would be sick. So Shay, how is your day? How's your fitness?
Oh, it's okay. This would be the first day that I pretty much completely botched my gallon of water.
Well, I'm not mad at you. Today was the worst day I've had as far as drinking water goes in months. Since it's been recorded. I wish I could tell you people how bad it was, but what is it? What time is it right now?
It is 11:33 p.m.
I've drank a half a gallon of water today.
Oh, well, you drank a lot more than I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had probably I'm on my 4th bottle right now. Oh, so almost half gallon.
So yeah, we're about at the same place. You been stretching and whatnot?
Stretching? No.
No.
I should have done that today, but I jumped right into work and forgot.
I'm not mad at you. I jumped into work so fast I forgot to clock in. No, I ended up clocking in during lunch and having to fix all that, But no, you at home, I hope you all been drinking your water better than we have. I hope you all been stretching, working out. I didn't do any working out today either. So that was unfortunate, but outside of that, I hope you all are feeling good. It is Friday. You made it through You made it through the week. You didn't have to make it through the week, but you made it through the week whole. You made it through the week healthy. Because that's another thing about, remember when all the celebrities were catching it at the beginning? And it was like a reminder that like COVID, like you're healthy today, you could be unhealthy tomorrow. So you should be thankful you're healthy. You should be thankful you have a job. You have a roof over your head. I know everything isn't, good, but there's a lot of things that are great. And if you look at those, I promise you find yourself some reasons to smile. And tomorrow there's college football, Auburn versus Georgia. I know, I said I wasn't going to watch it. I got hooked. So that's my neck. No, good football on this weekend. Patriots, Chiefs. Belichick versus Mahomes. Newton versus Andy Reid. So yeah, that being said, well, let's just hop right into it. We got our virtual dating plus topic.
What is our virtual dating plus topic today? Did we get another question?
Yes, we did.
All right.
You asked them on a date. Is it assumed you should pay?
Okay. Well, that's a good question. So when I go on a date, whether I've been asked on a date or I asked them on a date, both happen. And it comes time to pay, or even just before it comes time to pay, I always get my card ready ahead of time and I hand it to the waiter before he can hand me the check. So for me personally, I always pay.
Yeah, I feel like I always pay too. I feel like there's got to be another side to it though that we can explore. Like
You know,
I feel like maybe in like this world where like as we race towards equality, equality is really the idea that two humans are just that. They're humans. They're souls, you know. They're seen for what is their soul. And like that means like their race, their gender, all of those things don't matter. And so I guess I'm saying like it would be like how I used to ask you like, "Hey, you want to grab lunch?" I didn't like I asked you out to lunch, but I didn't have to buy your lunch. Maybe just maybe you should be able to ask somebody out of the opposite gender in a or of the same gender, but in a romantic fashion and not have to pay.
and I understand and completely agree with that. That said, I don't pay because I'm a man.
Okay. You pay because you got it like that.
No, I definitely don't got it like that.
Don't lie to these
Producers
people,
don't.
shade.
The
Like,
producers don't pay nearly handsomely enough. We need more subscribers, but
the producers are paying you. Like, it's like no,
yeah,
stop,
right.
like,
That's what I'm
I was gonna say
saying.
the producers have been charging me. I guess that's where your money is coming from. Like,
You know it, but no, like. I don't pay because I'm a man. I pay because this person wanted to spend time with me and I want to show them something in return that I can be like, well, you know what? Let me offer you a kind gesture. That's not to say that I haven't had plenty of people pay for me before. And as I get to know people, definitely there's a two-way street there. Sometimes they pay for me, sometimes I pay for them. I've had tons of girlfriends who have, even helped me just like, pay rent before because I was like down on my luck just as much as I have also helped them pay rent. Like, it's a back and forth kind of a thing. It's like if you care about the other person, if
you're in what they call an entanglement.
an
Like,
entanglement.
you're in a whole entanglement. Keep going.
Well, I think that especially if you're trying to form a legitimate relationship, that partnership is very important. I would never want my significant other to be down, especially about money, which I see as a physical world like nuisance more than anything. If you've got it, you got it, and that's great. If you don't got it, you don't got it at the time. That's all right, but we still all gotta live. We can't just suffer just because we don't have some green paper. Like,
Okay. How soon is too soon to help her out financially?
that is a big
help your
question.
significant other out financially. Because you just say you're paying rent. Like you meet homegirl, the 28-day.
So the
rule,
only time that
has
I've
the 28
paid
day
rent,
rule passed, and you really
the
liked her.
only time that I've helped pay rent for someone was we've known and dated each other on and off for the past like 5 years. So
that's not like a normal thing.
no, it's not like something that I would do with the random girl that I met at the bar last week. Like,
No. A 28-day rule. Let's multiply that by 2. You've been talking to her, dating / seeing each other
quite
56
frankly,
days.
it's gonna take much more time than 56 days for me to trust somebody.
Okay, enough to pay their rent.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm asking.
how do I know you're not gonna just run off and take it? Like, I don't know you.
I don't know.
It's been 56 days. Most of those days I spend at work or doing band practice or doing the podcast. Like,
We
I've
are
probably
here a
seen
lot.
like Yeah, exactly. So I probably, if I'm dating this girl, I've probably in 56 days seen her maybe, like 10 to 15, maybe 20 days out of those. And for like how many hours that we were actually able to hang out, like let's say 8, which is a substantial amount of time. That's 160 hours. 160 hours. I have played certain video games on my computer here longer than 160 hours, and I am still trying to get better at those games. Like, I don't know those games like that.
That's
Like,
160 hours is long.
it is. It's a lot of time. Don't get me wrong. It's
All
certainly a
right,
lot
so
of time to
let me
spend.
ask you this:
But
I coined the 28-day rule, as I'm calling it. Can you come up with another rule, and can you come up with a definitive timeline where you say, okay, it's okay to get involved in your significant other's finances?
oof.
Can you come up with? It doesn't have to be a one size fits all. The 28-day rule isn't a one size fits all, but it's a this size fits most.
So for me, it's personally, I would say I wouldn't be comfortable.
Until dun,
There
dun,
would
dun.
have see. I don't feel like it's based on a measure of time. It's more based in a level of, oh gosh, I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but I would say like a interpersonal connection. Like it's for me, it's something that you know it when you know it. It's a special little something, a little spark where like this person is here because they are interested in being a part of my life. And I am here because I'm interested in being a part of their life. And once
Listen,
those two things kind of connect, yeah, sure, I'll step into finances if need be. If they need my help, I'll be there for them. Maybe that takes 28 days. Who knows? Maybe it takes 2 years. I don't really know.
okay. You
But
said
you know
maybe
it
it
when
takes
you know it.
28 days. Could it take 28 days for you?
I doubt it, but I am
He's
an
I
open-minded
really doubt it.
individual, and I'd be happy to see someone try.
All right, let me ask you this. Is that the advice? All right, say your friend had been dating a girl for 3 months.
You ain't even know her yet.
You said okay, so you would say no to 3 months.
Heck no.
What if he said I really like her though?
I don't
We
care.
know we okay.
You
So
don't know what you're
so you
talking
said that that's
about.
some
You know
foolishness
what?
though.
Yeah, you know
So
what?
then what's the time? Like what is the time where you would say, all right, dude, I understand why you did it. Like
Oof. If it's to another dude, man, like
yeah, because
you'd better be together for the past 2-3 years, homie. Like
I was gonna say, see, because you're more interested in protecting your friends than you are yourself. And I caught on to that. Like I caught on to that. So you're saying like 3 months. He'd be like, but Shade, I really love her.
you gotta look
Shade,
out for numero uno.
look out for numero
Yo,
uno.
they be wildin', and we all know it. Sometimes and it's not women, by the way, just for anyone who's thinking that I mean women be wildin'. No, people be wildin'.
People be wildin', indeed. Like that could be a quote. Like
Yeah, you know what? I always go back to if you give a mouse a cookie,
oh,
they're
well,
gonna
I'm more
want a
of a.
glass of milk.
That's
Man.
wild.
They're
I'm
gonna
more of
want
a.
glass of milk.
I'm more of a if you give a pig a pancake type of guy. So I'm
If
kind
you give a moose a muffin,
I'm
like-
kind of frustrated. Usually, if you give a moose a muffin, like, but if you give an alligator an apple, like, that's what you really want to talk about, like.
If you give a snake a sandwich,
All right, I'm done. We're messing around too much. Let's see. What else did they? Ooh. This next one, y'all are gonna love it. They want us to talk about baseball playoffs.
the baseball playoffs.
Some old familiar rivalries, and oddly enough, no teams from the Central in either division. So you have the Yankees and the Rays going at it in the ALDS, in the first leg of the ALDS. In the second leg, you have the A's versus the Astros. from the
Them
AL
cheating
West. Those
Astros.
cheating Stros. No, I hope the Stros beat the A's. I hope the Stros beat the bricks off the A's. Nah, there's a lot of people who are like, you're a traitor. We love the city of Oakland. I don't love nothing about Oakland, okay? I don't know nobody from Oakland. I don't like Oakland. Like, I'm going with. I hope that Houston and the Yankees meet up. I'm gonna be honest
I
with
don't know.
y'all.
I'm always against Houston.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I only want Houston to win so that they can meet up with the Yankees. And either A, the Yankees will vindicate it and they will right the wrong, or
Vindicate the
we will have
vigilant
one
and
of
the
the
virtuous.
biggest controversies in the history of baseball. People will be so mad. Like, how did you quote unquote punish the Astros and they went right back to the World Series? Are they that good? After they
No, they're
lost, after they
cheating.
lost Garrett Cole and they
They're
lost Justin Verlander,
cheating.
the only thing they got was Dusty Baker, their first year coach. Like, and now they're just gonna go back to the World Series after beating the Yankees and the Dodgers again. I do hope they beat the A's, but then again, I'll be relieved to know the Astros aren't winning the World Series if the A's do beat them. So I'll say that much. How about the Miracle Marlins versus the Atlanta Braves? The Miracle Marlins versus the Atlanta Braves. Thoughts on that, Shade?
I mean, I've personally always been a Braves
You've always
kinda
liked the
guy.
Bravos. Like, you've always liked the Atlanta Cowards. Like, is that what you're telling me?
The Atlanta Cowards. That's
I
rude.
got an ignorant friend.
That's
I
rude.
got a friend who's wildly ignorant. He calls them that. That shit is funny. Like,
Yeah, I like Atlanta. Atlanta's close by. What you mean?
I was gonna say nah. I
I've actually
I think
always
the
wanted to
Braves
go
will
to
win.
Atlanta.
I think the Braves will win, but I gotta go. I'm rooting for those Miracle Marlins. You know the Marlins have never made the playoffs and then lost like in the playoffs.
Really?
Every time the Marlins make the playoffs, they win the World Series.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, good for them. You know, where are the Marlins from anyway?
They're from Miami, the Florida Marlins.
Oh, is that so? Okay.
Remember when we were kids, they were the Florida Marlins. Then they changed into Miami Marlins, which is, more alliteration, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Oh, and lastly, how about those LA Doyers versus those Sandy Fathers?
God, why do you have to ruin everything?
Those Los
I'm
Angeles.
a Dodgers
Those
kind
Los.
of guy.
You said you're a Doyers fan. Like, you love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Like, yeah, I like the Dodgers too. I was gonna say I like that boy Fernando.
Was it you that was telling me something about them putting in a bunch of pitchers?
Ooh, the Padres. The Padres won
Yeah, the
using.
Padres. Excuse me.
The Padres won tonight, ladies and gentlemen, over the Cardinals. The young Padres, the young Sandy Fathers won, and they used 9 different pitchers in a 9-inning game.
9?
They just kept summing people up. They said, look,
Well,
if you
okay.
could just get these 3 outs, you're done, and we'll call on you. And you, big fella, we need 3 outs from you. And hey, you over
That's
there,
wild.
you know what you're doing next. Like,
How many pitchers do they have?
that's an excellent question. They said, hey, they said tonight it's every available man. They said, look, you might be a first baseman and you gonna be a pitcher today. Like, you gonna figure it out. Like,
Wow.
normally it's a pitcher throwing to a catcher. You ever seen a catcher throw to a catcher? Like, that's the real question. You ever seen a catcher throw to a pitcher? I don't think so. Like, the Padres were on something else tonight.
Wow.
The Sandy Fathers. But I think those Doyers are gonna put them where they belong. Like,
They
and
gonna
then
put that
I think it'll
money
be
where their
I think it'll be
mouth is.
Dodgers Cowards in the NLCS, and then
You said Dodgers cowards.
I really
That's
like how he
wild.
got it. It was so disrespectful. It's funny though. Ooh, we just got another breaking update.
Breaking news, people.
Bill Stepien has tested positive for COVID-19.
Dude,
President Trump's campaign manager.
Yeah, everyone's testing positive for COVID-19.
Wow. That's crazy.
He's expected to
No, he loves McDonald's.
according to Apple, or no, according to the Washington Post. Specifically, he's expected to not your guy, but Donald Trump is expected to spend multiple days, but it doesn't say weeks.
Weeks of what? Oh, being hospitalized?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, I don't think he should be in the hospital for weeks, but if he is, like, I mean, that's what the nature of complications are. But yeah, so the Lake Show is up 2-0. So that's another breaking news update. But yeah, so I got Dodgers cowards, and then I've got I like Stroh's Bankies in the ALCS. Like some familiar faces, some new ones. You get to see that boy Ronald Acuna. Like that boy can really play baseball. Freddie Freeman, like Marcelo Zuna and the boys, like. But it's definitely something. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we really don't have a rundown tonight for you, unfortunately. I don't know about you, Shade. Do you have any announcements?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
I got one. I'm broke. You heard it here first because I spent $60 on that new Crash Bandicoot game, Crash 4. And it's going to be the first game I stream. So I will let you all know tomorrow what's the word I'm looking for?
Channel?
Twitch name? Twitch account?
Oh, okay.
Something?
Yeah, I
Twitch?
guess your Twitch channel or whatever it's called.
Whatever, right? Whatever. All right. That being said, go on and play us out.
All right.
86, 5, the 5. The Fireside Chat.
Please like and subscribe. You know what? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I know we just ended, but I actually do have a little bit of an update for us. That beer,
What do you know about brew?
the Samuel Adams Jacko Pumpkin Ale.
You're
It's
not from
pumpkin ale,
Milwaukee?
right?
You don't
Not
know
pumpkin
nothing
ale.
about brew?
It's pretty good. You know what? It's smooth. It's got a slight, I don't know if it's a cinnamon, but it's got kind of a spice to it, but very slight. It's not sweet. So the big problem that I have with a lot of pumpkin beers is they're sweet as all get out. Like, this is totally different than that. It definitely has, again, this is Samuel Adams. It definitely has more of a beer kind of flavor to it. It's a little bit hoppy, kind of bready almost, kind of mealy, which is nice. But it doesn't sit super heavy. It goes down real smooth. It's good even at a slight, not like completely chilled, but like a slight cool temperature. So it's perfect if you're like going on a nice like sit in your backyard, like maybe your back deck in the middle of
All
fall.
day.
Yeah, got your hoodie on,
Or if you're sitting by the
snuggled up to a
fireside.
middle. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
no
Oh yeah,
bonfire,
if you
like-
put on a little bonfire out back,
Come on, man. It's the Fireside
the
Chat. Right?
fireside chat.
Goodness.
But yeah, no, honestly, this is the perfect fireside beer right now, and yeah, it's good stuff. That's my only update. Jay, did you have any other updates?
Jack O's cinnamon and nutmeg aromas recall
Cinnamon and
memories
nutmeg.
of freshly baked pumpkin pie. It has the ideal balance of seasonal spices with a crisp, refreshing finish. This pumpkin ale pairs perfectly with the transition of summer into cooler days and nights. And with that being said, I'm going to say if you don't like Samuel Adams, I don't like you. Let's go. Like, psych, now let me stop. Like, we love you all. We love you greatly. You're good people. You're great to us. I hope you have a good weekend, a great weekend. I'm not Tony the Tiger, but I hope it's more than good. It's great. Was that too much?
Probably.
Ah, dang it. All right, cut this off.